This is the DTV Digest, the podcast that brings you news and reviews of films which didn't make it to the cinema. And now, here's your host, Mike Parkin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DTV Digest. I'm your host, Mike Parkin, and joining me today are Stephen Lockridge.
Hello.
Amanda Robertson.
Hi.
And once in a blue moon, Richard Hawes.
Hello, everyone.
There we go. This week we've got a massive episode. We have how many? 9 films to discuss. No, 8 films. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8. There you go. We have 8 films to discuss. We're kicking off with the Nordic creature feature Kraken. Then we have 13 Souls and Affection. CRYBABY Bridge and Diabolic is followed by Tribe, Woken, and last but certainly not least, Beast. Our short shot is No Trouble, and our DTV throwback is Kickboxer 2, starring Daniel Bernhardt. So, without further ado, let's crack on.
Or let's Kraken.
I'll leave that in. I was literally about to say it, but there you go. Awesome. Let's crack on. Got me doing it. Our first film then is Kraken. A marine biologist is doing research on a fish farm when she encounters several strange occurrences. Along with the brutal deaths of 2 teenagers, all signs point to the deep fjord. Can there be more to the depths than the eye can see? I've been looking forward to seeing this since trailers start dropping for it at the end of last year. I'm a big fan of sort of Nordic genre films as a whole. I think, things like The Quake and was it The Wave? Was the other one that
That's the sequel.
And all that, or the other way around.
Yeah, sorry, yeah,
all that sort of stuff. And this actually comes from the director of The Tunnel, which we reviewed a couple of years ago as well. And this did not disappoint for me. I absolutely loved it. It's got a really good structure to it. It starts off, with 2 deaths, and then it sort of goes quiet and slowly builds back up again. The mystery of what's happening, building up to bigger things, until we get this sort of siege thing going on at this fishery. And the music for it, I thought, was absolutely superb. The score that went with it really helped sort of ramp the tension in that sort of final third. I'm totally on board with this. How about you, Steve?
I'm on board. Not as much as you, I think. I did enjoy it, but I just thought there was a little bit... I know it sounds daft. I thought it was a little bit rushed. You've got like an hour of build-up or whatever, and then the last half hour is...
Yeah, because it is only about 90 minutes, this one, isn't it?
Yeah. So, so the last half hour where the shit hits the fan, basically, shall we say. And I just thought it was a little bit too much build-up, and then bang, all of a sudden then it's over. You know what I mean? But I did enjoy it. I mean, I thought the effects were great.
They were, yeah.
Really impressive effects, and even like the little parasites, I thought they were pretty creepy as well. Reminded me a little bit of like Cloverfield.
Yes, that hit me as well. Exactly. Yeah.
We get little parasites dropping off and stuff like that. But then there's a couple of bits that just seemed a little bit that I've forgotten about. Like the kayakers.
Yeah.
Because, one of them does a roll or whatever, goes missing. Wave comes, and you don't hear anything about them again at all.
Well, you do.
Do we?
Yeah, they find... Yeah, the one in the yellow one who did the barrel roll, they only find the bottom half of her body still stuck in the canoe, in the kayak. Yeah, so it does happen. But
did I miss that then?
He must have blinked.
Yeah, because I know they found the jet skiers and that at the beginning. But
yes, yeah.
Right, fine.
Yeah, because the female police officer, she visits the scene.
Right, that's on me then. Yeah, I must have linked. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, it's decent creature feature fun, you know.
Awesome. Yeah, Amanda, what did you make of this one?
It was all right. I had a good time. It's very light and breezy, like story and character wise, but that's fine. They did a little bit too much teasing with the Kraken, though. I don't think you got as much as you could have, but like the kind of horror-y, gory stuff looked pretty nice. But yeah, I had a good time. Didn't love it, but yeah, I'd probably watch it again.
I particularly like the tentacle effects, you know, when they're sort of creeping through and wrapping around people and stuff. That really good. Rich, as this is the only of the main films that you managed to catch this week, what are your thoughts on it?
I really liked it. It's one of those films that delivers everything you expect and everything you want, and it's completely satisfying being what it is for me. In terms of, you know, we're how many years after Jaws, and it's still being copied, and this is another template copy of Jaws.
Well, this is interesting because we did this. We kind of had a discussion the other week, didn't we? When we saw the poster for this, and you said, "Oh, here we go. It's another sort of Jaws kind of ripoff." There is one element, you know. You're right. It does hit a lot of the tropes. There's one particular one which is missing from this, and that is we've got to keep the July 4th weekend open or whatever. Yeah.
Well, that's the businessman with the salmon farm, isn't it? That's
that's what he is. Yeah.
So that's why it's all kicking off. But the thing was, I hadn't thought about it until now. But aside from Jaws, there's actually another Peter Benchley Beast, which came out. I mean, Beast was written in the 90s and was adapted soon after as a TV.
It's a mini series. That's right.
Yeah. So in terms of what Steve was saying of it being a bit rushed, maybe if it had been sort of stretched out a bit more like the mini series of Beast, that might have been more satisfying. But so I don't remember Beast very well. It just popped into my head. But I loved the whole setup. You know, everything plays out really good. I thought the introduction of the characters worked really well. It's a beautiful location, you know, with coast, with the fjords and stuff, but we only focus on a very, very small number of characters. It actually made me think of not another Norwegian one, but there was a Swedish disaster movie called The Abyss from Netflix, which made me, I was more closely thinking of because of the some of the family ties and stuff in that film, and the main character is a woman. Is
that the one where they have to, where the whole town's having to move?
It's a sinkhole.
That's it, the sinkhole. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So I liked all the characters. There's a bit of a contrast in they do a lot of explaining about the sonic lice thing, which, to be honest, we'll get a bit confused about. I know the idea was that they use this invention, which because there's always they have to call the protagonist to go back to the town. She doesn't want to go back there because there's a load of baggage because her other ex half is there, and they created this thing. And anyway, this sonic lice thing that they created is basically not being used correctly, and it's being used to sort of purify the salmon, but as a consequence of sort of basically amping it up to 11 when they shouldn't be, it triggers the other occurrences and the wakening up of the Kraken and stuff. But so they were focusing a lot on that. But the other thing I thought was interesting is they don't ever really have an expositional discussion about the Kraken.
No, that's right.
No,
yeah.
I don't think they even say the word Kraken.
No, there's no sort of onboard expert or something to sort of tell, you know, marine biologist to tell him what this damn thing is.
Exactly, yeah. Which is this is another sort of missing ingredient, I think.
I'd say the only thing about that is they have like the flashbacks to the 70s, don't they, at the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
Where they kind of mention that it's kind of happened before, but not really on that scale or something.
Well, the young boy in the opening who turns up as the man later. There's kind of a Quint thing going on there for a little bit. So all the characters that they introduce, they sort of very fleetingly introduced them, but I was on board with all of them straight away, and I liked the characters.
Yeah,
but even because they're tied together. Like, the dad runs the company, the daughter's sort of an activist against what the company's doing. She's got a couple of friends. Then you've got the
mum's a policewoman, and
the mum's the policewoman. The expert who comes in, she used to be the babysitter, so they all know each other. I thought that all tied together quite nicely. And when the Kraken does come, and we do get, because like you say, there's a lot of build up, but all the technical stuff is brilliant. Loved all that. It doesn't quite go down the Deep Rising route, which was a very different kind of movie, but also about a very similar kind of creature. But it does do some, tentacle going in and out of corridors kind of stuff, which reminded me of Deep Rising. And we do get a couple of things. It's really good. I say it's more than on par with what Hollywood's doing. I would say, international cinema, we've been observing it copying Hollywood for years. And the Scandinavians have basically cracked it now. They're all Norway, Sweden, or whatever. They can all make films just as good as Hollywood now.
Absolutely, totally agree. Okay, scores on the doors for this one. Over to Amanda.
I'll probably give it a 6.
Yeah, I thought you might. I thought you'd be the lowest score of the lot. But I'm giving this one an 8. So Steve,
I'll give it a 7.
And Rich.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 as well. I'd definitely watch this again.
Definitely. So there we have it. 2 8s, a 7, and a 6 for Kraken. Go check it out.
It's a Kraken film.
It is a Kraken film. Our next film is 13 Souls. After the death of her mother, 15-year-old Agni moves in with her father and older sister in a house near a cemetery where eerie and uncanny things begin to happen. Lots of pluses and minuses with this one, Steve, I think.
Yeah.
One of the pluses especially is the makeup effects.
Yeah.
Because they put a lot of money into this, I think. It is, uncanny. Some of the stuff they come up with I thought was great. On the downside is the rather convoluted story, which I'm not sure I really totally understood what was going on.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought the makeup effects were good. Really good, to be fair. I mean, it's quite a depressing opening when you think about it.
God, yes.
He's been like living with her mum's dead body for like 3. Well, it says 3 or 4 days, but she seems a bit more decomposed than that to me. But the thing that really first of all, I think the father looks too young.
Yep. For a 15-year-old daughter.
Yeah, he looks about 20. And it's like he should be their older brother. And that kept throwing me. And I didn't like the end where it just kind of went down the old exorcism route.
And it went down that route very badly as well.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my main complaints about the film is the dialogue, which at times just sounds off, and other times just sounds really bad. Like when the he's not even a priest, is he? He's the older black guy.
Yeah.
Who of course is dying anyway, as we these people sort of go, and he's coming out with all this information and exposition, and it just sounds so rote. It just sounds bad.
Yeah.
And then the exorcism itself, or whatever ritual they're doing, I'm pretty sure at one point he says macrame. As he's doing all this thing, so he starts, macrame, crochet. It's like God knows. It just sounds weird to the ear. Obviously not Latin. Obviously just something they've made up.
Yeah.
Which didn't help, but. From a special effects point of view, I think this is really, really good. There's good sort of fire stuff going on. I thought it was going to be at the beginning, it's talking about these 13 souls who were trapped in an elevator in the Bronx, and it caught fire and everyone died, and the bodies were so disfigured, the police weren't able to identify any of the bodies.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be about them.
Yeah, I mean,
Because it sort of jumped back a bit, and I thought, okay, so now I'm just going to be waiting for them all to die then, because
Yeah.
typical sort of in media res crap. But it sort of segues, the dad is the local cemetery caretaker who's sort of caring for the graves and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it just seems very sort of almost it's adjacent to the story for the most.
Yeah, it just seems a bit weird to name it after that. You know what I mean? It's not. It's weird what the actual story goes to.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
where it goes. It doesn't really involve that part at all.
And then we get that sort of epilogue, which again just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But there you go. It's a good effort overall. I mean, if you want some decent scares from the effects, the creepy Agni, all this sort of stuff, the stuff she comes out with, which is great. She probably gets the best lines in the film, but the story wise, I don't think it works. Especially not the dialogue's not helping.
Yeah.
How are you going to score it?
I'll give it a 6.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, it's not it's not a disaster at all. It's very watchable, but we've got issues.
Yeah.
So we've got a few notes. So 13 souls gets 2 6s from us. Go check it out. Next up is Affection. Ellie confronts a disturbing condition resetting her memory, unable to recognize her husband and daughter. Each reset disorients her, leaving haunting recollections of an unfamiliar life. Now, this is a weird episode, guys. There are 3 films on this list that we're covering tonight, which all feature a woman who has lost her memory and is waking up in strange circumstances.
Oh, interesting.
It is pretty weird. And not only that, 2 of those films feature something which is considered a bit of a taboo, which I'm not going to spoil. But it's uncanny that these films have these sort of similar elements. So Affection, to begin with, I was not too sure where this was going at all, but I really like this in the end. It is creepy, it is very twisted, and the other thing about all these films, the other thing is. It's an expression I hear a lot online because I read there's a somebody on Blue Sky called Ask Aubrey. I don't know if you've come across her.
I think so.
Yeah.
She posts a lot of stuff about men being arseholes, basically, and basically a lot of the responses are, "Why are men?" And that's basically there's a lot of this shit. It's just. It's like that CRYSPR we watched last week, or the last episode.
Yeah.
These incredibly self-centered, egotistical weirdos, and it's very weird. So I enjoyed what happens in this. It goes really, really dark round about the middle point, but then what happens after that, and how Ellie kind of gets a bit of revenge. I thought was really, really clever. So, I actually really like this. Amanda, what did you make of it?
I really liked it as well. I liked that it got dark. Sometimes I think you need to go a bit dark. There was some good practical horror. I love Jessica. Is it Ross or Roth?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. It was nice to see her do something that wasn't like horror comedy, because she's in those Happy Death Day films, which she's great in.
Oh right, yeah, of course she is. Yeah.
And she's really great in this. Like, she's not
Mm.
just great at the emotional stuff, she's got like a real physical presence as well,
Mm.
which I'm really, really, really into. The only thing I didn't like was it tries way too much with the villain. I
Mhm.
think there were moments where it was trying to get you to sort of question yourself and kind of sympathise a bit. I don't think he needed it.
Mm.
I was quite
Yeah.
happy just seeing her eventually taking her revenge on him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bit early on where she hugs him, and the camera does sort of linger on his expression, which
Yeah.
which changes sort of from "oh, I love you" to something else. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, because
little
he's
little
just
does she know sort of thing. Yeah.
yeah, he's just like a nasty arsehole. We didn't
Yeah.
need to just let him be one.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, this really works. I was surprised, especially after CRISPR the other week. Um, this is that sort of thing being done right. And I'm talking
Yeah.
too much. I'm giving too much away if anyone's actually seen CRISPR anyway. But yeah, no, really good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. How are you going to score it?
I'll probably give it a 7.
Yeah, this definitely deserves a 7. I totally
Mhm.
agree. 2 sevens for affection. Go check it out. Go in completely blind. You know, apart from our review, go in as blind as you can, and check it out. Next up is CRYBABY Bridge. After being bullied at school, a pregnant teen's family sets out to move from the city out to the countryside, unexpectedly revealing a coveted secret of a past that threatens the fresh start they seek. That was a long sentence. Right. I think of all the films we're covering this episode, Amanda, this is probably the slightest. This is probably the one with the lowest stakes going for it. Even so, you know, there's a young woman and baby at risk here. Yeah, this family has decided to move. You know, it's this the girl Sam is adopted. She's black. Her parents are white. You know, and she's managed to get herself pregnant in high school, and you know the feedback you know in the background is become insufferable, so much so that you know for everyone's well-being they decided to move, and they end up in the area that Sam originally came from. We get the sort of the backstory from another source as to you know why she was given up for adoption and all this sort of stuff. Um, it is interesting. It did hold my interest, but I think overall, and I didn't think the horror part of it really worked. It sort of comes in right at the end of the film, really, and
Yeah.
I don't think it really gave it enough time to sort of play out. It was more interested in the sort of human side than it was the supernatural side, I think.
Yeah. It did feel a bit uneven there. It did look really good though. Like it did like a really like cold, eerie look to it. It's quite intimidating looking. But I found it like for something that isn't relying on sound effects and it's kind of leaning into horror, the sound design was a bit off.
Yeah.
There wasn't really much going on there. I did like the acting though. I thought the lead girl was like really great. You can really feel how isolated she is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did enjoy watching it. It just it took a while to get to the kind of supernaturally side.
Yeah, and her parents weren't really helping matters because they're just both total, you know, bickering arseholes basically, and she was sort of stuck in the middle. Yeah, so yeah, this is it's kind of slight. It's very low on the supernatural side. It's more of a movie of the week sort of, you know, moralistic sort of drama kind of thing going on. You know, basically it's from the headlines of like Jerry Springer, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it plays out, you know. It's almost as if they're on Jerry Springer and they're sort of pulling out guests from her past and this sort of stuff. And this person has a secret, tie to your childhood and things like that. So yeah, it's slight. It's well made,
Yeah.
but it's slight. And on that note, how are you going to score it?
I'd probably give it a 6. And I liked a little bit more the supernatural side.
Yeah,
Not awful.
it's not awful at all.
No.
But yeah, it literally it's almost as if they made the film and went, oh, wasn't this meant to be a scary film?
Yeah.
So you get the bit at the end with the mum with the book, sort of looking at the sketches and things like that, and which leads on to other bits. But yeah, so and yeah, 2 6s. Get my thoughts in order. 2 6s for Crybaby Bridge. Go check it out. Next up is Diabolic. A woman's hope for a miracle cure turns into a nightmare when she confronts the vengeful spirit of a cursed witch, determined to claim her as a vessel for her evil power. Thanks, IMDb. You not only did you get part of the actual synopsis wrong, but you kind of gave away the whole plot. I wish I had time to rewrite some of these. Okay, so we have a young woman with suffering from some sort of amnesia. A lot of her past is sort of blocked out. We know that she was part of a Mormon sect at one point, and then she sort of like left under some sort of cloud or something. At the beginning we don't know what's going on. However, she's having these episodes, and her psychiatrist suggests that maybe she seeks help from this Mormon sect that chucked her out so many years ago. So she takes her friends with her, and things start to get weird. Like 13 Souls, there is a lot to like here, I think, Amanda. But I don't think the actual plot makes a lot of sense.
No.
That's going to be another theme tonight, by the way, this episode. There's going to be a lot of films which do not make a lick of sense. But it looks great, I have to say. There's some really interesting images and things going on. And I did like where it ended up because it is so bloody twisted. But how we got there, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
Yeah, it didn't really do much for me. Nice looking, but like there's just too much story. If it just sort of stuck with maybe 1 or 2 paths, it might have worked. Like I don't think it needed the witch, the kind of cult group, and the demon would have been fine. But there was way too much going on.
Yeah.
Which kind of put me off a bit. I think I lost track of one of the friends at one point. But no, it just wasn't doing much for me.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But I did like the stuff at the end. There's a particular effect at the end where her face changes.
Yeah.
It's looking into camera and it's sort of just it widens a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks really, really weird. It really freaked me out a little bit, I must admit. But the whole thing about there's at the beginning of the film, she's participating in this weird baptism thing, and it's a case of they're not just baptizing her, but they're baptizing. This is what we find out a little bit later. They're baptizing the dead people that the witch killed.
Yeah, that was
through her body or something. But there was a really weird bit as to why they had chosen her, because they're sort of saying, "Oh, we chose her for her sins," because you're like, "Well, what did she do?" It's incredibly unclear as to why they got into that mess in the first place, and I'm not a fan of that stupid epilogue either. Again, like 13 Souls, didn't need it. It's just stupid. Yeah, but there you go. Okay, how are you going to score this one?
Probably a 5. I think it just needed simplified down, and it would have been fine.
Yep. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. 2 5s then for Diabolic. Not totally diabolical. Maybe worth checking out. Next up is Tribe. A desperate man lost in the West Coast mountains has to reconstruct his past in order to step back from the edge of insanity. Okay. Again, this has got lots of pluses and minuses. Lots of pluses, definitely. The imagery is some of the weirdest, eerie, mind-fucking stuff I've really come across. Some of the stuff they put together for this was absolutely superb. There's these figurines which are like made out of rope. I thought they were great. They're really, really creepy sort of stuff. There's loads in here. You know, I thought they absolutely did a great job. It's confusing as fuck, which may be on purpose. You know, maybe on purpose, just to mess with the audience, with the viewer. But it seems to sort of like fall between the gap between a standard narrative film and a found footage film, and it doesn't know which one it wants to be, and it's kind of trying to have its cake and eat it too. Because it's sort of for about probably the first 2/3 of the film, it is kind of like found footage. You know, he's going through all these tapes, and then the ending is it's like we're now sort of beyond the point where he was looking through the tapes, and it's sort of like forgotten about the whole found footage part of the film. But there you go. That's me. Steve, what are your thoughts on Tribe?
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was absolute mindfuck. The imagery was fantastic. Even just in going into the mountains, the drone shots he was doing and stuff like that looks stunning. And then you're going back to the younger days and stuff like that, and his mate and what happened to his mate, and his mate talking about this theory that he's got and stuff like that. And then it does get confusing. It just goes a little bit too apeshit, but the imagery it's startling. It really is.
It absolutely is. Yeah,
he's done a really good job of that. I mean, the bit where it just comes out of nowhere, where he's like in a dark room, and his head just splits. It's phenomenal. I'm like, oh shit. And like you say, it does. The majority is found footage, but then it just starts going into like a normal narrative style. I mean, you've even got like the Zoom meetings and stuff like that. And
sorry, Steve, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Yes, all right.
Sorry.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, overall, I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Amanda, what did you make of Tribe?
I did quite like it. I like the way that it uses its found footage, which feels a bit kind of overdone and easily done at this point. So nicely edited. There was some like ghostly stuff at the end, which looked really good. It did take me a little bit of time to warm to the lead. I think you eventually got there, but maybe I've enjoyed it a bit more if he was a little bit more likable. It's kind of hard to get on with him at the start. But no, I think it was a good attempt. Something a little different.
Yeah. Again, when I mentioned it doesn't know whether it wants to be a found footage or not, it's got a score. It's got a score which emphasizes the scare bits. Like when the you get this sort of creature crawling through the undergrowth on the night vision. And then suddenly it comes like right up in front of the camera, and it's like dun dun. on the soundtrack. It's like, yeah, okay, well, is it found footage? There's no context to what you're actually presenting here to say that, oh, we found this old trailer. We get that at the end, but when the sheriff goes, oh, we found the trailer, we found the tapes, here you go, see what you make of them, kind of thing. But you kind of need that right at the outset to sort of say that, yeah, we found this, we've edited it together to present a narrative. That's me. That's how I view it anyway. Cool. Scores on the doors. Amanda.
I'll probably give it a 6.
All right, and Steve.
I'll give it 7.
I think I'm joining you on a 7. Yeah. Probably one of the most visually unsettling films. So the twist, some of the imagery they come up with, some of the things that happen, really, really clever, very artistically shot. A really strong effort from first-time director Dan Asima. This is his first feature. It could be that we'd be definitely looking out for other films that he does in the future, hopefully. But there you go. So 2 7s and a 6 for Tribe. If you like your found footage, you're definitely going to want to see this one. Go check it out. Our next film is Woken. A woman wakes up from an accident with no memory of who she is and finds herself trapped on an island with a man who says he's her husband. This is the third film this week, guys, with a woman who wakes up with no memories or gaps in her memories or something. So, Affection and even Diabolic and to a certain degree CRYBABY Bridge, because there are definitely gaps in her memory as well. It's a weird theme to sort of come up, female protagonists who've lost their memory, but there we go. And this one, what's also interesting is they're all quite different. They all, they use this bit but spin it in very different ways, and I was quite impressed with where this goes overall. It does take a while to sort of really find its feet, but yeah, this I thought was actually quite interesting. Things happen. There's discoveries made which are pretty creepy. There's some interesting makeup effects along the way, and there's that sort of very sort of taboo trope coming forward again. It's crazy. Steve, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I mean, it's got Maxine Pekin, which is always a sign of some sort of quality. But yeah, again, it's quite a slow build. It's quite a slow burn to where you find out what's going on and stuff like that. There's little hints and clues you can kind of piece together, but then it does go.
It takes
overboard.
It takes a hairpin turn, doesn't it? Basically, is what it does.
But I'd say for this one, it does kind of work. Without giving anything away, Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I thought the performances were good. I mean, it's quite basically shot, shall we say, apart from like the hairpin turn. That's what it takes. It takes a bit of a stylistic swivel there.
Would you agree this is one of those films that you would recommend people go in blind?
Yeah,
and with a bit of patience, basically.
Yes.
Just get over the initial bit where people, she's finding her feet. What, where am I? What's going on? All the rest of it. Let things settle in, and then the weird shit starts to happen. If you can go in without, just trust us. Just go in without sort of really delving too deep. And I think there are some pretty twisted thrills to be had here. Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's also some shocking bits as well.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not all nice and lightless and stuff like that. It's quite does get quite dark, but yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. Definitely.
Yeah, this again. It was a real pleasant surprise, you know. When you put up with films like The Vord, you kind of get broken. So it's nice to know that there are some decent films out there, you know, and you can be pleasantly surprised and entertained. This is again, it's from another first feature director called Alan Friel. Again, you know, certainly going to keep an eye out for whatever he comes up with next, because he seems a pretty safe pair of hands. And yeah, he definitely surprised me with this, with where the story went. How are you going to score it?
I'm toying, but I think I'll go 7.
Yeah, I can see myself watching this again. Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, 2 7s for Woken. Go check it out. Last but certainly not least is Beast. MMA legend Patton James, now a commercial fisherman, is pulled back into the cage when his brother is in danger. Reuniting with his old coach Sammy, he commits to one final fight in one championship against its brutal champion, Xavier Grau. I think it's fair to say that we've all been wanting to see this for a while. Some of us have sort of stumbled upon Bren Foster quite late, you know, with films like Life After Fighting and Mexicali, which is awesome.
If I can just interject, he had an early role that was quite decent in a Steven Seagal film called Force of Execution.
All right.
Where it's obviously sold as a Steven Seagal movie, but it's very much a Bren Foster movie. And I think he was also in another Seagal movie, Maximum Conviction, where he really stood out in those movies. But it's taken it quite a while for him to sort of build up. I mean, he's done some quite high profile TV stuff and everything, but it's only really now with his film Life After Fighting and now this that he's really building a big profile.
Absolutely, and he is great in this. You know, he's basically the baddie. You know, he's Xavier Grau. You know, he's the what's the name of the guy? What did Mr. T play? Oh, Clubber Lang. You know.
Yeah, Rocky 3.
So yeah, or Dolph Lundgren's character in, you know, Ivan Drago. You know, it's kind of that sort of role. You know, there's history between the two guys. So, you know, we've got Daniel McPherson as Patton, and he's great. You know, but both of them are absolutely excellent in you know, the roles. They certainly put in the work. That's for sure. I'll talk about a bit more about this because I want to sort of highlight one of the actors a bit later on. But Amanda, did this meet your expectations?
Mostly. Bren Foster was great. Dan McPherson was great. Russell Crowe is good for the 5 minutes he's in it. He just sort of appears at the beginning and then never turns up again.
Oh, really? That's disappointing.
Well, he does get an and credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he produced it as well. So
yeah.
I thought that they were really selling it like he was in it a lot. So I'm very disappointed to hear that. I
think they're getting their money's worth with him, just to make sure people watch it. I love the fights; they're really, really well done. But I have 2 issues with it. It takes a little bit too long to get anywhere. I think they should have just picked one scenario with the brother, either just have him fail and then get his revenge, or kill him and then get his revenge. You didn't need to do both.
Yeah.
And the wife character was basically nothing, which is not really new for these types of films, is it? She was just
she is the Adrienne character, you know. So like, oh, don't fight Rocky, you're gonna get hurt, and it's like, kill him, Rocky.
Yeah, I mean, I know they all can't be Tessa Thompson and Creed, but you know, try a little bit harder. Give her something to do. But other than that, I did like it. I don't think it fully met my expectations. Maybe I held them too high.
Possibly. Steve, what about you? Where do you sit on this one?
Right. It's one of them. You've seen it all before.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You know what's coming. You know what's going to happen. You know where it's going to happen. But it's great. I've really enjoyed it. I thought the performances were excellent. The fights were excellent. They are overselling Russell Crowe. I'll give them that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've had a fallout years ago. It's not even his coach. It's his daughter who's his coach now. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
The thing is, though, with Russell Crowe's character, right? I mean, he is a damn good actor. So much so, I'm watching this thinking, shit, is Russell Crowe all right? Because he looks so ill and hobbling around, you know. I'm really thinking, damn, did he sort of film this on his deathbed or something, you know? Or did he just come out of hospital to film this? But yeah, I thought he did a, you know, for what he was in it, I thought he was, you know, brilliant.
Yeah, I thought they all were. I mean, the bit that got me as well, I watched the film, and a few days later I saw an article, I think it's on Facebook or TikTok or something, I don't know, about Daniel McPherson, who used to be in Neighbours.
Yeah, I thought his name sounded familiar.
Yeah. Look at him when he was in Neighbours and look at him now. I had no idea it was the same guy.
Who was he in Neighbours? I can't remember.
He was called Joel or something, Joel Samuels or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, it's years ago, but he looks completely different. And I was shocked that it was him. I was like, nah. But yeah, look, something like this, you know what you're getting into. You know what it's going to be. But I think they did it really well. Like I said, I think the beginning, it does go on a little bit before he's, you know, I'm going to get back in the ring. I don't think you really needed the fishing boat stuff. That bit they could have cut down a bit. But apart from that, I thought it was great.
So also in the cast, we got Luke Hemsworth as this sort of very oily fight promoter. He's a shitbag in the film, but you know that's what they paid him to be. So that's you know, I thought he was great. He was a great heel sort of kind of character. Shall I tell you who my favorite character in the film is?
Go on.
It's Neil.
Hey, the frig's Neil.
Neil's his big.
Oh, his big mate.
His big mate. Because you know he's this sort of big, sort of dumbass sort of character. But you know they got good chemistry together, and then sort of quietly in the background you see him working out and everything, you know. And then when it matters, he's sort of able to sort of step in and help him fight when he gets in that scrap. And he's like, I thought he couldn't fight. He goes, no, I don't like to fight. You know, there's a big difference. You know? But I thought he was great. You know, just he didn't really have to do a lot, but he just had good presence. And yeah, you know, while you know, Patton was in the ring, sort of training. He's just there in the background, just lifting weights and shit, and thinking, you know, making the best of the situation, which I just thought was really, really cool. So there you go. Yeah. It as you said, it doesn't do anything that we haven't seen before. That we've seen some great fight movies. This ticks all the boxes. Okay, yeah, could have done a bit more Russell. But
forgive me if you've already mentioned this, but it says on IMDb that Russell Crowe co-wrote this film.
Right? Okay, I no idea. He's got a writing credit on IMDb for it. Yeah. Interesting. You know, and not the sort of thing that I've expected him to go down, but you know,
no,
interesting.
Random.
Yes, it's directed by a guy called Tyler Atkins. So I've not seen any of his stuff before. He's done a couple of films already, but nothing that's really sort of like, you know, crossed our radar before this. Looking at one is called Ocean Boy. That does look like Luke Hemsworth again. It is, yeah. So he's worked with Luke Hemsworth again previous in the past. Interesting. So yeah, no, this was, you know, I mentioned online the other day that basically it's a shame this didn't get a cinema release, because I think it would have been a real crowd pleaser if it did. You know, we haven't had a decent sort of Rocky movie for a while. You know, we've had the Apollo, the Creed films, but you know, this would have been good. So there you go. Scores on the.
Sorry, before you give your scores, can I just mention? I asked whether you seen there was a Stephen Dorff film a few years ago, also about like an older sort of MMA fighter guy called Embattled.
All right. No, I haven't seen that one. No.
That's worth watching. He's like a Conor McGregor kind of character in that. That's the kind of angle that they're going. And there was another one I wanted to mention that was good, but honestly, I can't remember the name of it. But I do like there's quite a few of these sort of MMA themed, quite high quality fight dramas sort of coming out over these last few years, and I've not been disappointed by one of them yet. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this one.
Yeah, it's definitely worth seeing. Scores on the doors. I'm expecting some pretty high marks for this one. Amanda?
I'd give it a 7.
Not as much. And Steve?
I'll give it an 8.
I'm really hoping this gets a physical release because I want it in my collection. So 2 8s and a 7 for Beast. Go check it out. Our short shot this week is No Trouble. A parolee working as a chef in a Chinese restaurant has a harsh dilemma to solve when a gang comes in to rob the place. Should he get involved or keep his head down? An exemplary short, this one, guys. I thought the tension that builds in the central part of this is palpable. I don't know if you've had this, Amanda, when you work behind the bar, but when you get a certain group come in and you just know it's going to be bad,
Oh yeah.
I've had that. I've had days like that. I went working for Spoons. And that's exactly what you get here. It's nasty. It's mean. It's going to get violent. It's really, really tense, and I thought it was actually done really, really well. Rich, why don't you kick us off and tell us a bit more about No Trouble?
So I came across this one a few weeks ago when I was looking for shorts and stuff, and I checked festival lineups, and there was one called Film Quest, I think it was, and I was looking it up and I was trying to find, and I couldn't find the film. I found a link. I found a website that had it, like stuff about it, but I think it was like a special screening website, so I couldn't. Even though I logged in, I couldn't get it. Anyway, just by chance, it popped up in my feed on YouTube on the director Jonathan Chan's channel. So I immediately headed over there, and it's great. I mean, I'd seen the trailer and I was already quite pumped for it, but it really lived up to it. I think the director, who hadn't directed anything before. He previously worked he developed films at 87 North Productions, and hadn't got behind the camera on anything as far as I'm aware. But in terms of a first time production, this looks like you say, amazing. I mean, looks fantastic. The budget, the cinematography looks really good, and the action obviously is really good. The action which really kicks in the sort of second half of it. But like as you say, that it sort of ratchet up the tension, and it's very understated in a lot of ways, and the way it unfolds. But the fight action is by a guy called Matthew Raggetti, who's stunts and fight coordinator on this. But he's the cinematographer of this short, so it's his first time as well. And he's done an amazing job, not just in the fights, but with the look of the film. He and the director worked really well together, and a lot of the people involved in the action scene. So we've got the lead actor, who's a guy called Rich Ting, who I know from Tulsa King. Played a character called Jackie Ming, sorry, but he's also been in the series Warrior, playing a character inspired by Bolo Young. The character's called Bolo. But he's done a whole bunch of other stuff, but he's really good, really underplays it. Excellent. And all the other stunt performers in the film, they've worked on shows like Spider Noir, which has just come out this week. And so I loved this. I thought this was great.
Steve, what did you make of No Trouble?
Yeah, I thought it was cracking. Loved it. It's one of them where sometimes with these like action shots, it just goes straight in.
Mm.
But with this, there seems to be more thought, more attention, more plot to it. But they get it across really well.
Mm.
You know, it starts off with the two other chefs just, bickering, chatting away. Like he shouldn't be in it, he's dodgy and stuff like that. So it establishes he's just got out of prison. You see the ankle tag, he's got a past.
Yeah.
And then these thugs turn up, mug an old guy outside, and he wants to step in and just do him in. But it's like, no, I've got to stay out of trouble. I can't go back in. And the old guy's like, look, yeah, leave it. But then they come in the shop, try robbing it, and then all hell breaks loose, and it's great. I thought the choreography was great. Everything's really great about it. I thought it was really, really good.
Well, the choreography the choreography was by a guy who worked on The Boys and stuff, but also the stunt coordinator. He's also from The Boys and Gen V and stuff. So he's and the new series Vault Rising. So he's like a second unit director who does a lot of their action. Right. So the standard of the action is, undoubtedly going to be higher when you've got people of that caliber. And like I say, it's amazing that this new, first time director has managed to get such a great, ensemble to bring this all to life and say, yeah, it's one of the best. I think it's one of the best films this year.
There's a few elements in this that I want to mention. So obviously, as you guys know, I absolutely love a fight in a kitchen.
Well, that's why I had to send it over to you straight away. You see.
So there's weird sort of combined locations. Fights in elevators, restaurant kitchens, and toilets. Basically, so public toilets is another good location for a scrap. Just go and see. Was it Rogue Nation? Or was it, no, Fallout? That was yeah. Fallout was the one. So there's that. So I was on board anyway. But for a first-time director and cinematographer, you think about the different scenes that we get here. So you got the scenes in the kitchen. You got scenes with the manager of the restaurant. You got scenes with the guys, the thugs in their car. And the way that was lit, and the way that was shot, that was really quite. You think it looks pretty simple, but think about this sort of a lot of the low budget films that we see. A lot of them are shot quite far away to get all the characters on screen, so they can all talk within camera, rather than doing close-ups of each person and cutting between them, because that takes time, basically. So to have this shot on the main guy and the other guy sort of just, in the background, and that sort of talking about we need to go get some more smokes, because smoking vapors for fags or something, God knows. All this sort of stuff going on. It's just really, really well done, and the fact that it's all shot at night, or a lot of it shot at night. It's you can't. We see a lot of shorts. We see a lot of low budget films. We start to know or recognize the shortcomings, and sometimes it's because of lack of vision, or lack of experience, or lack of budget, or sometimes a mix of both. If this guy. I don't know what the budget was for this, but it sounds like he's got a lot of good guys working for him. He had a decent vision, and
it's a film standard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, very good. It's exactly that. It's feature film standard.
I mean, to be fair, have you seen the picture of him as well? He looks about 12. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, no, this is. Yeah, as you say, it's one of the best shorts we've seen this year so far.
Yeah,
I just mentioned the lady who plays the owner of the restaurant. The actress's name is Peggy Lou. She might be familiar with to audience members as Mrs. Chen from the Venom movies.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So again, bringing in sort of very well known, very well, highly regarded, very, very talented people to make the story. there is one thing that bugs me about this film, and that is that, but essentially, the main villain doesn't really get the comeuppance that I want him to. I mean, he does, but it's kind of like
it's a Pyrrhic victory, isn't it? Basically,
he basically beats up all the other guys who are with him, but you know, the other guy doesn't really get the sort of he does get his comeuppance, but he doesn't get what I want. It's like I wanted him to really get it, and he doesn't. Which is
missing some of the catharsis, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, anyway,
awesome.
just me personally. But it's great. It's really great. Go check it out. It's on YouTube.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we don't score the shorts, but we do recommend you. Do that again. We don't score the shorts, but we do recommend them, and you'll find a link to this one in the footnotes below. Go check it out. Our DTV throwback this week is Bloodsport 2. Now, I'll take no credit for this. This is the IMDb description, so please bear with. Alex Cardo is imprisoned and disciplined by one of the inmates. His new master also tells him about the brutal yet illegal Kumite tournament. But how will they get there? Who writes this shit? Jesus Christ. Anyway.
AI these days, probably.
Yeah, it could be. But the one we had last week was hilarious. But anyway. This is a lot of fun. Not much story there, really.
It's a wafer thin story.
It is very wafer thin. It's almost as if they just wanted to film the tournament from start to finish, and thought, well, we better sort of kind of frame it with something. The framing is really funny, actually, because we got James Hong.
Yep. James Hong, yeah.
James Hong. Yeah. Basically telling this story to a bunch of kid karate students.
It's the Princess Bride.
it's the Princess Bride with James Hong. It is quite, because they even do interject at times, don't they? They go, "That's terrible," all this sort of stuff. That's really unfair. This was quite funny. It makes the whole thing really, really, because at times you're forgetting that he's sort of telling this story to a bunch of kids, you know, and he can almost imagine him acting out, and it's like, and then you know what he did next? He broke his fucking neck or something.
The funny thing is that whole wraparound isn't really needed at all.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's very strange.
But it gives James Hong more to do.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a sequel, obviously, to one of Jean-Claude's finest moments. This one starring Daniel Bernhardt, who's someone I sort of kind of discovered a bit late, probably the last sort of 5 years or so, and absolutely love his work every time I see him in anything. He is a kind of a jewel thief who gets double crossed by his partner, ends up in a Thai prison, comes to the rescue of one of the inmates, which sort of impresses James Hong's character, who then teaches him the iron palm technique, which is great. You know, I was really surprised how early we get a training montage in this. Because I suppose they had to get it in early, because the rest of the film is basically just tournament footage, isn't it? It's just goes on and on. It was great. I mean, it's great to watch. Okay, Amanda, had you seen this one before?
Yeah. I actually like this one better. I love the first Bloodsport movie. It's a classic, but I kind of like this one better. I think it's just it's a lot sillier. It doesn't have the true story nonsense that comes with the first one.
Yeah.
And I like the fights. I think the fights are really well done for something that's like low budget. Obviously very low budget, and it's got that whole we've got two cameras, we'll just place them on one side thing. They look
but they put in a lot of styles, don't they? A lot of different martial arts styles, which is great. Yeah,
I really love the there's two Muay Thai fighters
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good one. It looks,
Yeah.
although it's obviously fake, it looks so brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Philip Tan, who did the fights, and he's in the film, he's the guy that Daniel Bernhardt works with. He did a really good job on them, considering how many there were. It was funny to see Chad Stahelski pop up in one of them. And I, like everybody else, I really enjoyed Daniel Bernhardt. For a guy that hadn't really acted before, he's doing a pretty good job. Although, and I do enjoy the third one, but I do kind of wish that the sequel sort of went on a completely different fighter each time. It would have been fun to see that.
Yeah.
But no, I love this one.
Yeah, I did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Steve, what do you make of this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, it's see, the thing is, I always get mixed up between Kickboxer and Bloodsport because it's been years since I've watched them. But it didn't seem as violent as them two. There weren't as much blood or death or whatever. But yeah, like you say, you've got like the first 40 minutes where he's in prison, doing the montaging, doing the training, and then it's just balls to the wall, ass kicking for them, and that's it. There's no real. Well, they're trying to get the sword back or whatever because that's the prize, is it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but it's literally just kick the shit out of each other and go for it. Crack on, lads. We'll just film it and then just bang it all out. And it's like a Ron Seal movie. It does what it says on the tin. You know what I mean? It's now. Did you watch it on YouTube?
Yes.
Was it just the upload quality that wasn't good, or was it like that anyway?
No, I think it's somebody's uploaded it. It's not a great copy. I mean, it was in widescreen, which was good.
Yeah,
because I'd only ever seen it in pan and scan. But where they got it from, I don't know. But there must be a better. I hope there's a better version of it out there somewhere. Definitely deserves a good release.
Just seemed very grainy and.
Some of it was really dark and you couldn't really see anything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the DVD is a little bit cleaner, but it's not much different. It's not as dark. It's a little bit clearer, but it does need a clean up.
Fair enough.
Rich, what do you make of this one? I mean, you must have seen this before. This is
I mean, I hadn't seen it since it came out, and I was a Daniel Bernhardt convert pretty quickly. I absolutely loved his stuff. He was probably one of my top action stars of the 90s. He would say this was his debut, and I think he did a great job considering he hadn't even appeared in any roles in anything before. He's modeling and everything before that. So he does a really good, and he's great on screen. He's a great fighter. He's really good. As Amanda was saying, so Philip Tan managed the action, so he was the choreographer and shot the fights and everything. So he did a fantastic job. I mean, not just with Bernhardt, but with everybody. All the fights I thought looked fantastic compared to what I was expecting was, which you go back and you watch these older films and the fight quality is usually a bit rubbish compared to what we're used to now. Yeah. And I was going, no, this is really good. I mean, you compare it to something like American Samurai, and the way it's shot and everything is so completely different in the edits, and the performers are great. I mean, it actually made me think. I mean, I know it's kind of a tangential Bloodsport sequel anyway, but The Quest, the Jean-Claude Van Damme film. So, that film was very similar to Bloodsport and this and stuff in it, but it had a lot of really good stuff in it, but you couldn't really see it. It wasn't very shot very well. And I thought this, they've got, I mean, Ron Hall's in there. He's amazing. He's jumping, he's very athletic, doing these massive, big jumps and stuff and spins and kicks. And there's a load of other people. Don Gibb comes back from Bloodsport 1. There's a bit of continuity. And he provides sort of like comic relief and stuff a little bit. And we've got Pat Morita in there, providing a bit of sort of gravitas as the basically the guy who Daniel Bernhardt steals from and is trying to write with. But then you've got James Wong as well. And then you've got this whole thing of the film tying in with the evolution of action as we know it now with Chad Stahelski and everything. So Chad and Daniel Bernhardt met on this film. Chad then was the lead choreographer on Bloodsport 3 and I think True Vengeance as well. He and Bernhardt met again later on Matrix Reloaded when they were basically fighting each other as stuntmen for the main characters. And then they worked on Bernhardt made his directorial debut with a short film called Fetch, which David Leitch starred in. And then, cut to many years later, and Bernhardt's doing all these supporting roles and working with 87, 11. He's been in 2 John Wick universe films, playing 2 different characters. Yeah, both the original John Wick and Ballerina. And now he's kind of circled back to leading man status again, being in Deathstalker, which is his first film, I think, in the lead in God knows how long. Because this was a period when he's coming in where action, DTV action is fundamentally changing over those last 5 years of the 90s. And by the end of by the early 2000s, Seagal and that are in that realm, and people like Gary Daniels and Daniel Bernhardt are kind of out for largely. And so Bernhardt kind of went off and found other work to do, became a stuntman and all that sort of stuff. And it's great that he's come back because he is good. I mean, he's got leading man, presence, and he's got the skills. And so I think this really, I was really impressed watching this film again. One thing that did make me laugh is that it ends with this Mortal Kombat style techno dance track over the end credits. And it's really obviously trying to be the who did it? Was it Utah? Not Utah. Sorry. Who did the Mortal Kombat? Was it Utah? Anyway, but so Philip Tan, by the way, his son Lewis Tan has gone on to be in Cobra Kai. Which obviously there's the links with Pat Morita there, and he was also in the new Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, playing a character in that. So all these things kind of circle around and sort of link together, which I think is fun. One other thing, there's a female fighter in this one as well. They had this woman in it. She becomes kind of a love interest or person who Donald Gibbs' character is trying to pursue, which adds a little bit to the sort of threadbare plot. But like you say, it's essentially the first half an hour is the plot, setting up the plot, training montages, whatever. Then he gets to the Kumite, and Bernhardt's character, Alex Cotto, is literally sitting on the sidelines. You're literally just watching the fights, and you see his fight, and he fights every now and again, obviously. But the fights are so good that I didn't mind at all. I thought, and then they sort of put a little bit of plot in, and it peppers it through, and it comes to the end. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Did you say it was Ron Hall that played the black guy wearing the yellow tunic?
Yes.
Yeah, he was really, really good. He sort of basically helps Daniel Bernhardt's character get into the Kumite, but when he sort of says, "Oh, are you?" and he goes, "No," he goes, don't expect any favors from me if we face each other in the ring. But it's that sort of thing. It's something that Outlaw Vern sort of mentions in a few of his reviews about sort of people, achieving brotherhood through fighting, and it's that sort of thing. And it's like Boyka in Undisputed 3 as well, when he fights Lateef Crowder, he sort of picks him up afterwards and goes, "Good fight." It's that sort of thing that you want to see. It's that sort of what's the word I'm looking for now?
Like the camaraderie. It all goes back to Rocky, doesn't it? It's like Rocky and Apollo Creed, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. All that sort of stuff. Yeah, which is great to see, because the other guy as well. The is he sort of Hispanic guy? Want to get shot in the leg eventually? It's interesting because Donald Gibbs' character is going, "What are you doing? These guys are your opponents. Why don't get all pally with them?" And it's, by the end of it, there's this little gang of fighters who sort of like all got each other's backs, which I thought was just really nice. And I'm happy that sort of Jackson's the guy that got the girl, kind of thing. It's just made it all more interesting. So there you have it.
That's a funny ending. That's a funny the way they do the ending, and they cut back to the kids because they suddenly remember them, and and I think the little girl goes, "Oh, don't they doesn't he get the girl?" kind of thing, and they literally just cut back for like a second for that closing shot and stuff. But it's good. I would say, I'm going to revisit Bloodsport 3 because I'm saying, but I remember Bloodsport 4. Daniel Bernhardt was in both. Bloodsport 4 was really bad, that I remember, and it actually isn't the same character, which I hadn't realized for a while. It's a bit like American Ninja, when when I was young, I didn't realize that all of a sudden it said American Ninja, but the character was the same actor, but the actor was the same, but the character was different. And it's the same with this. Was the same with this one, because I always thought it was the same character. It's like, no, he's got a completely different name. It's just they called it Bloodsport. But the I would say check out True Vengeance, because I remember being really impressed by that back when it came out. It had very much of a John Woo kind of influence to the action in that one.
Yeah, that one is really fun.
Yeah,
the action in it's so good too.
Well, again, I think that's another Chad Stahelski.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So the director here, Alan Merez, who was an actor who then became a director. This was his first film. He only directed 4 films, including say Bloodsport 3 as well. But he mostly did like producing and acting. But I think he did. I mean, he produced Olivia Gruner's Savat, which was pretty good as well.
I got that somewhere.
Yeah, and also, funnily enough, Cyborg 3. So again, there's a Jean-Claude link. I mean, Daniel Bernhardt coming in, the whole point of it was he looks like Jean-Claude, and he really does. I mean, he's even done. I thought it was funny. I wasn't with you guys on the last show, but I remember hearing you talk about The Order.
Yeah,
and I was thinking how it's kind of funny because the character in this film is kind of related in a way to that Jean-Claude character, who's this kind of charming thief character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and I was the plot of this. I thought, oh, this seems a bit familiar, and I was thinking there was a Steven Seagal film called Today You Die, where it starts out with he's a thief, he gets put in prison, and then like in the second, and then the prison stuff is over quite quickly. They touch on the cliches, and then he's out. And I was like, that's very similar to this film. And the funny thing was, the thieving stuff in Today You Die is footage from The Order. so it's like all kind of weirdly linked together.
So, hang on. We're supposed to believe that
the stunt man doing the rappelling in The Order is supposed to be Seagal. It's supposed to be Steven Seagal in Today You Die. Yeah.
Oh my god.
They recycled the footage
and how big was Seagal back then?
Oh, he's a pretty big fella.
He's already a big fella.
Man.
Oh god. Jesus.
So yeah, I'm really glad you guys enjoyed this.
It's great. Yeah.
I was going in expecting, it's going to be a bit ropey after all these years, but no.
Been watching it through rose-tinted glasses. But you're absolutely right. Yeah, all the fight stuff works. You know, even in today's, the sort of thing we see, from 8711 and others. It still holds its own for sure. We saw this on YouTube. There is a version there which we will put a link to. You may find it on other streaming services, perhaps around the world. If you're lucky to pick it up on DVD, even better. That is the end of this week's show. This was a bit of a bumper episode. The next one, I think we're recording about 2, maybe 3 weeks' time. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and X and Blue Sky at the DTV Digest. Also, the short shots, which we've managed to revitalize recently. We've had two recent episodes. We're planning a third, so please keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, thank you for listening. Tune in next time.
Thank you for listening to the DTV Digest. Let us know your thoughts in the comments and tune in again next time.